Joined today by Professor Ibrahim, Sirkeci, the Professor of Transnational Studies and Marketing at Regent College in London. We also have from the Kurdistan Tribune the editor and co-founder, Ibrahim, and on the phone from Chatham House, a specialist on Turkish affairs, Hadi Akura. Thank you all for joining us. Professor Sirkeci, let's come to you first. Does this deal have any chance of sticking? It has been tried before, but somehow people think this is a step further than we've been in the past.
Yeah, I believe so. And the main reason is, in the past, as you say, there have been quite a few, ceasefires, but they were on unilateral by PKK. But this time we are seeing Turkish government is, well, for the first time, seriously and genuinely listening to what Kurds are saying and what PKK is actually saying.
Well, do you think that the Turkish government though will do what the PKK want, which is to gain their own cultural and language and political rights? Do you believe that will be a genuine concession by the government?
To an extent, yes, I believe so. I don't think they can compensate everything PKK is asking for, but yet for cultural rights there have been some progress, few things already done and in place, and I'm sure they will do some serious, more improvements regarding cultural rights.
But independence now, do you think it's never going to happen? Independence,
again, if we look back to that, now relatively famous letter, independence is not out of the window. So the only deal is, okay, we will drop the guns, but we will continue political struggle. And the final aim, ultimate aim there is autonomy and possible independence.
So you do think that the PKK still has independence as its goal?
Yeah.
Because that wasn't clear, was it? You still believe so? In their heart, actually, that's what they want.
I do believe, because at the end of the day, as I said, the PKK is a coalition of various forces, nationalist forces. It's a front. So within PKK, I'm sure there are
still people wanting
sectors willing that.
Haram, as it's called, and we've already heard now about it being in Iran, in Iraq, and in Syria. But things are really changing there, aren't they? In Iraq, obviously since the war, since the fall of Saddam, and indeed for many years prior to that, when there was a no-fly zone and there was effective autonomy for many Kurds in the north there. What kind of impact does that have? And then again, recently with Syria and the falling apart of the Syrian state, the Kurds there have imposed created their own kind of little state left there. So how does this all tie into the?
And there are some conspiracy theories, some guesswork around what's happening with Kurds in Syria, and this is, for some at least, this is one reason why prompting Turkish government to do some take some serious steps regarding its own Kurdish issue, because there's a situation in Syria where PKK, an organization which is...
Well, they have bases within PKK. Iraq, of course, yeah.
But for me, the de facto state, de facto independent Kurdish state in Iraq and other groups in Syria and Iran are relatively less significant compared to the size of the Kurdish population and the PKK movement and its impact and influence within Turkey. I think this is the heart of the Kurdish question overall, and we cannot. I don't think we don't have any quick fixes on that, and it will not happen anywhere soon, because one reason is we have a war which lasted about 30 years, with PKK. Official figures say it is over 35,000, death toll, and unofficial figures take it up to 60,000 and upwards. So this lasted at least 2 generations now, and therefore the solution will last at least that long. So for me, I cannot see any quick fixes just based on what's happening, or taking a model, looking at what happened with KRG or what may happen with Syrian PYD. But PKK is the heart of the problem and heart of the solution. So what Turkish government is doing at the moment is the right steps, because over the years it was the claim, it was the argument. You have to sit down with PKK and start negotiations, start talking. And this is happening now. This is why I'm hopeful about the process. It may not happen soon, but it is the first step and the right step.
I mean, you know, do you think that Erdogan was forced to respond because of the changes he was looking across the border in Syria? And, you know, he's bombed Iraq, he's been going on there, but do you think he now has been forced to respond, to do something internally in Turkey because of events there?
And it seems that is definitely part of the story. But Erdogan has been, you know, doing something about Kurdish question since the first, you know, since he came into power in 2002. So most progress on that issue achieved through that, you know, decade or so.
And in the end of military rule and the bringing of democracy, you think that has actually helped the Kurds in that way significantly?
It helped, in many ways it helped. I mean, like, you know, for many, these may sound trivial, but these are like, you know, for example, the Kurdish TV broadcasted by you know, Turkish, you know, state broadcast. That's a big move, because it gave the opportunity to Turkish Kurds, Kurds in Turkey, to have a uniform language so they can understand each other. So these may sound, as I say, trivial, but important steps.
Important steps have been made. Okay.
What happened in Syria is just a, you know, minor part of it.
Okay, well, thank you to all our guests.